On today's episode of the Time Blueprint, we have a viewer question from Jake. Jake says, I have enough cash to pay off my house, but since the mortgage interest rate is so low, many people are in this situation, Jake, I'm not sure how much it benefits me to pay it off. But it's not earning any interest in the bank, so I might as well pay it off, right? Well, we're going to ask Frank Oliver, the financial advisor on today's show, the answer to that question coming up next. All right, so a great question from Jake today. Frank, a lot of people are in this situation where they have very low interest rates on their homes, but might have some cash. They've always kind of been, bred to think, hey, you should get rid of debt as fast as you can. How do you help navigate people through this?
This is such a common question in our office. So much so that we actually, in coordination with our technology company, just built a calculator to show people what the ending result will be down the road, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, if they pay off the house or if they keep their low-interest loan and continue to make that payment while letting that other asset grow in the market. It's a very enlightening calculator, to be quite honest, because and just to kind of answer this off the fly here, Jake, I am not a big fan of seeing somebody take all of that liquidity, pay off a 3% loan, not have any liquidity, and then what happens if you need to access some of those funds again, right? There's opportunity costs there. There's just a lot of risks involved with that. If you're working and you pay off your house and then you lose your job, and then all that liquidity is gone, and you can't refinance your house because you don't have a job. No bank's going to loan you money, right?
Yeah.
So there's some situations there, but from a money standpoint, if I look at this calculator and all the calculations I've done over the last 23 years, is I have not run into a situation where if you have a 3 to 4% mortgage rate on your loan, that you're going to be better off by paying off the loan than keeping your money invested. And we'll use a 4% or 5% mortgage rate, and I know they're a little bit higher than that right now, but they're going to come back down. But the average in America, I think, is 3 or 3.5%. So, but if you use a 4% mortgage rate and you grow your assets at 4%, what people don't understand is the compounding growth of that asset at 4%. Your interest every year is greater.
Yeah.
The loan is amortized, so that same 4%, that interest is less every single year, right? And you really have to look at your overall portfolio as a balance sheet. You're really just taking one asset here and moving it over here. You haven't accomplished anything but getting rid of a little bit of interest cost, but you're giving up all of this growth as well, the compounding growth
and that liquidity.
And the liquidity.
Yeah.
Right? So
that seems big to me. Now, I'm not close to retirement, but you're working with people who are pretty much right up against it.
Correct.
Or recently retired, or at least it's on the horizon. It's something they're thinking about every day. And I would imagine I'm still pretty far from it, and I can see that value and importance of liquidity. And I would imagine that it only becomes more important at retirement because people want to have flexibility and want, especially those first few years of retirement where you want to go out and have fun and do things.
Absolutely.
You got to make sure you have the right amount of value on liquidity.
Yeah, and we'd be happy to show anybody the calculator that we built. It absolutely is mind-blowing to see how better off you are by keeping that money invested versus paying your house off. And I mean, this has been the best 2 years we've seen in a long time, but I mean, the S&P's hit 20%, returns 2 years back to back.
Yeah.
Your mortgage is costing you 3 or 4%.
Right.
When
you do
you made
that
enough
math,
money in 2 years to probably pay off your house just with the free growth.
Yeah.
If you would have taken it out, you would have lost that opportunity.
Yeah, good points across the board, Frank. Is that a calculator folks can run for themselves, or do they need to come in for an appointment to have those numbers run?
We could do a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
And pop the calculator up on the Zoom and put it right on their computer screen and help guide them through this.
Very cool. Yep. Well, if this question, should I pay off my house or not, no matter where you are kind of in that planning spectrum, whether you're at retirement or still a few years away from it, if this is on your mind, set up that time to meet with Frank. You can run that calculator for you on the Zoom call or come into the office and do it in person. You can schedule a 30-minute visit, in fact, for free, no cost or obligation. Just check the link in the description of today's show. Click on that, and you can schedule right from your smartphone or computer. Very easy to do that. We've got additional contact information there as well. So do that and check it out and have a conversation with Frank. Frank, appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Hey, quick reminder, if you're watching this video on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so that you don't miss future episodes. And if you're listening on one of our audio podcasting apps and the audio version of the show, you can still subscribe and follow on your favorite app. So be sure to do that as well. And never hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. We'll see you next time on the Retirement Blueprint.
Thank you.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Oliver Asset Management and Creative One Wealth are unaffiliated entities. Licensed insurance professional. This information is for educational purposes only and should not be construed as advice or a recommendation for your specific circumstances. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Insurance product guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing company. We are not affiliated with any government agency and do not provide tax or legal advice.